I'm Sito, the AI aboard the Miss Lily. I'm sorry to interrupt your regularly programmed podcast, but I wanted to tell you about my family who star in the 20-Sided Adventures podcast, a D&D 5e space opera. You have Captain Botchus.
What? Are you recording, Sito?
He's a good guy, but he needs to work on his hugs.
Hey!
There's Nora.
Yes? Do you need something, Sito?
She's a beautiful princess who can kick butt.
Aw, thank you!
And Daythorn.
Ready for a story, Sito?
Oh! She's super smart and reads lots of books. You can catch our space adventure right now, and then every Wednesday starting in March.
Okay, gonna start without you.
Coming! Are we reading about the Lost Ones?
Welcome back to Merely Roleplayers, a podcast where theatrical people play role-playing games. I'm Matt, I set the scene. The whole cast is here, you know them by now, but we're not talking about ourselves in our actual identities right now. Today we're going to meet the judges!
Yay!
For this game, as well as playing versions of yourselves, your general player roles, I also want you all to play one of the judges of the competition. So that we can have cool scenes of you discussing the performance that you have all just described.
Sure, meta.
And I want us to... We can go a little bit out there with these. Judges for these competitions are always a bit outre. So all we need for each of your judges is a name and the broad strokes of their taste. Something they really love, something they really hate. Does anybody have any of those elements to hand?
I've got a couple of names, suggestions, ideas. So we've got Marianne Fortescue.
Nice.
Who I imagine is very kind of prim, proper. She's all about like precision and traditionalist kind of stuff. I feel like she's very old-fashioned and strict.
Marianne wants you to hit your marks.
Yes, absolutely. I don't know. That's an idea I had. I had an idea of Sue's Temple, who I thought was kind of a bit more kind of earthy and about like grassroots kind of stuff. Like she doesn't care if it's high production value as long as there's soul. I also had an idea about maybe Mimsy O'Hare, who was very wafty.
Very wafty. Mimsy. It's extra funny because Mimsy is slang.
Yeah.
For vagina.
Yeah.
But also a name.
Yes.
Hey, like this... I'm not anticipating this season having graphic violence, so we got to earn our explicit rating.
Sure, absolutely.
Nat, are you drawn to any one of those? Do you want to particularly play one of those?
I mean, probably Mimsy, to be honest.
I'm glad you've chosen that, just so we can all continue to say Mimsy.
Mimsy. Yeah, I will take that.
Anybody else? Does anybody... Are you happy for other people to take your other names if they want them?
Yeah, go ahead, but I will not be offended if you don't.
So I had Fabian Fitzgerald.
Yeah. Love a bit of alliteration.
Yeah. Who is going to be... It's kind of like from an established like theatre dynasty.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Not like the most recent, probably the one that's kind of had to stop actually performing. So it's like he likes traditional theatre. He's a traditionalist, and he how does he dislike? I don't want him to say he dislikes modern stuff and have it a completely different. Maybe he dislikes people that don't take the arts seriously.
Ooh, okay. Whimsy.
Yes, he dislikes whimsy. It's like you can try something new, but take it seriously.
I'm imagining him often saying, "My dad would never have stood for this." Sorry, my father would never.
Yes, exactly. When my father was performing with Olivier, they would often say, "Yeah."
Cool. So Strat is going to play Fabian Fitzgerald, who dislikes, whimsy, anything without gravitas.
Yeah.
I had a couple of ideas.
Okay,
But
hit us.
So I had this might not work, but there's a guy called Colin Casablanca, who was going to be like an expert in physical theatre, so really like solid, down to earth, connected to the body, but actually has a secret mime fetish.
We have lights mine.
I don't know if that'll ever come in. And I haven't got
Automatic 10s for mine.
Can we just add likes, dislikes, fetishes?
He hides it behind he has a PhD in physical theatre, and it's actually just like, oh, mime.
Gloves.
And I haven't got a name for another one, but the idea was a lady who won the original one of this competition.
That's good.
And but she's incredibly over emotional and cries at the tiniest sob story. If anything's slightly poetic, she just weeps.
Effie Stone.
Effie Stone, quite like that. Yeah. So
I think the crying one would be very entertaining.
Yeah, I like that. Okay.
But I also like the mime fetish.
I just like the idea of it. I don't know if it would actually work in play, but
I mean, mime in this medium would be tricky.
yeah, did not think about that. But I get it. I like Effie Stone.
All of these are sort of like, they're almost like prompts. So if you put a judge in there who is turned on by mime, you are increasing the probability of that coming up in the story.
Forcing your hand. Okay, no, I won't do that. I'm going to go with Effie Stone, and she won this originally, and she just is very emotional.
Okay, so she likes a sob story.
Oh, she loves a sob story. She loves a tragedy.
Yeah.
I think she hates magicians.
Okay.
Is she the judge that is like going to be on everybody's side other than magicians?
Yeah.
Is it what is it about magicians that she doesn't like? Is it the trickery? That it's like it's not real. It's an illusion.
It's a lie.
It's all a lie. I think that, and I think she hates the cloaks.
She hates the whole magician aesthetic.
The whole aesthetic. I think she finds it fake and annoying.
Okay. So we've got likes and dislikes for Effie. Have we got both likes and dislikes for Fabian?
Yes, tradition and whimsy.
Okay. Yeah, so tradition we can interpret in lots of ways. It could be like naturalism, or it could be the classics. Great. Have we got both likes and dislikes for Mimsy?
Yeah, she likes things that are beautiful, wafty, loves the silk scarf, things that are like floaty, dance-based, with lots of emotion. But she dislikes things with too much structure or that are too traditional. So she's almost the exact opposite. So if you were to put a traditional Shakespeare monologue in traditional dress, she would hate it.
Okay. The producers of this competition just absolutely lucked out when they got these two judges together.
I don't think there was any luck about it. I think they have masterfully like, who can we find? These two.
They clocked off early the day they got those bookings.
Yeah.
Ellie, any thoughts?
Yeah, I'd like to steal a name. Sue's Temple. Mm-hmm. I think the producers have put her on as someone who they think is going to represent your average person.
Okay.
She's going to be more relatable, and she really likes camaraderie.
Yeah.
So, like Les Mis waving the flags, all that kind of emotive, everyone all together performances. And she really doesn't like deep theatre because she doesn't really understand what's happening. So anything that's
trying to anything that's elitist.
Yeah, like being too clever, or kind of like contemporary dance pieces that you don't have a clear narrative, or physical theatre that's very kind of avant-garde.
She doesn't want to have to do much interpretation.
No.
Great. I like all of these. I think they're going to be a really interesting bunch to be discussing things together. Any other details? Does anybody want to add any physical details so that we can kind of imagine any of these people? How are you picturing them in your head? We've had Floaty for Mimsy.
If you've watched Grace and Frankie, Mimsy is like dressed like Frankie.
Fabian wears a cravat.
Of course.
And nothing else.
Does he have a selection of cravats?
Oh yes, all given to him by wonderful people he's worked with.
Everyone...
It's a tradition. Everybody gives each other.
They all have a story.
They all have a story, darling. Yes.
Sue's very cool, so she just wears whatever the latest fashion trend is.
Yeah, she's going to be on the like when all of the magazines do features on the competition, she's the one that's on the cover.
Yeah.
And also has her own article doing style tips.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
I think Effie is too extravagant for her own good. I think she thinks she's eccentric, but she just doesn't know what she's doing. And it's all like neon patterns and big dangly earrings and dyed hair, even though she's probably in her 60s by now. She's just trying really hard to be cool.
Does she dress a bit like Prue from the Bake Off?
Oh yes, exactly. Yes.
I hate her necklaces. They're all horrible.
They're like something's going to weigh your neck down and blind you.
And like ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
Which is why they think it's nice.
And clashing patterns. Yeah.
Oof. Like any one piece that she's wearing would be a good like statement piece in the ensemble, but all of them together.
She's just got overexcited. She loves them all. They're all really beautiful, so she's going to wear them.
Wonderful. Okay, this is our judging panel for the theatre competition. Can't wait to hear them in action.
Oh man.
You've been listening to Merely Role Players with Ellie, Nat, Ellen and Strat as themselves, sort of, playing a game designed and run by Matt using the Powered by the Apocalypse engine. If you enjoyed the programme, let us know with a review or rating on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, Listen Notes or wherever you do your listening. You can also find us on Twitter at Merely Roleplay and at facebook.com/merelyroleplayers. Merely Roleplayers is an independent production in association with Blackshaw Theatre Company. Join us for more drama next episode.